Good morning and welcome to Stockport station. This is in the Greater Manchester area. We are going to be train spotting here today, and of course plane spotting, because we're not far from Manchester Airport. There's a plane close by, look, Emirates plane. There's one of the regular plane services. Starting off here at Stockport is 37610. It's a Class 37 locomotive with the original BR logo on, British Rail logo, of course. 37610, looking very nice. This Class 37 locomotive is over 60 years old, and it is still strongly in service today. Looks very lovely, that does, doesn't it? 37610 here at Stockport in the area of Manchester. The next service should be leaving in a few seconds' time. It's the Trans-Pennine Express service for Liverpool, which is going via Manchester and Warrington. Since this morning I have boarded this train all the way from Scunthorpe, my hometown that is. 185125. Now here at Stockport. There's 125 TPE service, and behind that is 151. 185151. That's the last fleet number in the fleet of the Class 185 also. 151. 185151. Excellent service going to Liverpool Lime Street. Like I said, I have boarded on that Trans-Pennine Express service this morning from Scunthorpe. There's the Class 195 in the background. I think that is bound for Sheffield. Northern trains. 195129, I think it is. 195129 on the local service via the Peak District, calling at all stations going to Sheffield. 195129. There is the very next plane. That's a regular plane service. I don't know what airline that is. Look how close it is landing. That is amazing. We're suddenly plane spotting as well here at Stockport. The last time I've been plane spotting was at Hounslow in West London near Heathrow Airport. That's the very last time I was plane spotting, probably a few years ago in Hounslow, West London, not far from Heathrow Airport. Because near Heathrow Airport in London, there's planes arriving every 45 seconds to land at the airport. I think there's planes here about every 2 minutes in the Greater Manchester area. Manchester Airport by plane that's landing above Stockport, the airport is only 5 minutes away by plane. So that plane will be landing in 5 minutes time from now. So there is the 37. 37610. Looking fantastic this morning as ever. And it's got the green signal to go ahead. That means the train will be departing on this goods service. I think it's a special network rail service this morning. Should be departing in a few seconds time. There we go. We are now powering up the locomotive, Class 37. .610, there it goes. 37610. Network rail coach in stock there. Just a few coaches in between the Class 37 locomotives. Behind that is 6263 and 37607 HN Whale. HN Whale, that is 37607. Fantastic. Very lovely pair of Class 37 locomotives. These locomotives are each over 60 years old and very strongly in service. Fantastic stuff here at Stockport this morning. That's a very nice capture for train spotting, that is, isn't it now? Let's see what else will turn up in a minute for regular train services today. 390148. Avanti West Coast. The Flying Sauceman, the nameplate of that train. (3900148). Slowly passing through Stockport. That is the non-stopping service. Most probably empty coaching stock there. Very nice from Avanti West Coast. Next service departing in the background is Northern Trains. Local service to Manchester Piccadilly. 156423 and 156406. Former East Midlands Railway. 156406. Also known as former East Midlands Rihanna, now with Northern Trains. On this local service to Manchester Piccadilly, departing from Stockport. There's the next plane heading over Stockport, Greater Manchester this morning. Cross-country trains arriving here at Stockport for Paignton. 220016. Voyager 20. Must be 20 years celebration of the Voyager. 220016 to Paignton. Arriving at Stockport. And now departing from Stockport is for Manchester Piccadilly local service. Northern Trains 156410, former East Midlands Railway, and behind that is 150130. 156410 and 150130 from Manchester Piccadilly, Northern Trains. That's a fantastic service. 67008. Transport for Wales here at Stockport for this service going to Manchester Piccadilly with some Mark IV coach in stock as well. 67008 arrived here at Stockport. This sounds fantastic. 67008 Transport for Wales. Former LNER 12225 and also former Virgin Trains East Coast. 12315, 10325, 11323 and 11423, I think so. 82226 Transport for Wales. 82226. Fantastic service for Manchester Piccadilly. And in the background is Northern Trains on this service from Sheffield. 195111. Also for Manchester Piccadilly. Class 195 Northern Trains. As confirmed, this service is from Sheffield. (195,111). here at Stockport. There's the next plane approaching for Manchester Airport. We'll be landing in 5 minutes time. 195111 Northern Trains. The train did stop here at Stockport, but it didn't let any passengers on or off the train. Nobody got off the train or boarded that train. It just stopped here at a signal, that was all. But it is 195111 Northern Trains. Stockport, Greater Manchester. Next service arriving here is for crew 323231, Class 323 Networker, Northern Trains. It looks a little bit like a networker, don't it, the 323. 323231 arriving at Stockport in the background for Chester, and now going to Chester is 150106. The next station for that train service is Navigation Road, 150106. And also in the background is another Class 323 Networker Northern Trains that will be departing in about a minute's time. But 150106 has just arrived here at Stockport for Chester. And we've got another plane. Let's see if I can intensify this plane. I might not be able to. Sometimes it says the airline logo underneath the plane, but this one doesn't. Look how close it is. Amazing. Plane, aeroplane.
The next train to arrive at platform 2 will be the 0824.
And the next service is for Manchester Piccadilly. Class 323 Networker. 323233. That's a lovely Networker 323. 323233. Class 323 that is. Networker departing Stockport for Manchester Piccadilly. Happy days. The very next train to arrive here at Stockport is this Transpennine Express service to Cleethorpes, 185130. Behind that is 185116. Calling at Sheffield, Meadowhall, Doncaster, Scunthorpe, Barnetby, Hayborough, Grimsby and Cleethorpes. 390125, Avanti West Coast. This service will be going to London Euston. (390125) Avanti West Coast. On arrival here at Stockport for London Euston. Straight after the Cleethorpes train that is as well. Happy days. Now departing is cross country trains for Manchester Piccadilly, 221135. Class 221 Voyager, cross country, 221135 for Manchester Piccadilly. Fantastic stuff on departure here from Stockport on this Friday morning. Fantastic. Avanti West Coast. 390125. This service is for London Euston. There's another aeroplane. Seen plenty of planes this morning here at Stockport. This plane is bound for Manchester Airport, just 5 minutes away. The next service arriving is Avanti West Coast from London Euston for Manchester Piccadilly. It's another Class 390 train. 390011. (011) just arriving here. Very lovely stuff. The doors are now closing on board 390011. There goes Transpennine Express in the background, because you can hear the engines on the Class 185. In the background, surface for Cleethorpes, which also calls it Scunthorpe. 390011. Avanti West Coast from London Euston to Manchester Piccadilly. City of Lichfield, that's what it's called. Nameplate of the train, City of Lichfield, 390011. East Midlands Railway, 170207. That is former Transport for Wales, I'm sure it is. 207 just arrived there at Stockport. (66107) DB Schenker, light engine, that is, Class 66 locomotive. 66107. Looks very nice, that does. This service is for Liverpool Line Street, goes via Manchester and Warrington. East Midlands Rihanna, that is also known as. This is a recent transfer from Transport for Wales. 170207. Fantastic. (170416). (170207) and 170416. Service to Liverpool, goes via Manchester. Happy days from EMR. The next service approaching Stockport is for Bournemouth via Birmingham. Cross country trains 220020. 020, Class 220 train arriving here at Stockport for Bournemouth. 323228 from Manchester Piccadilly. Class 323 networker, Northern Trains. One 150104 Northern Trains for Buxton. Class 150 Sprinter, that is of course 104. On this local service going to Buxton. Arriving at Stockport. One 156 service to Manchester Piccadilly, local service, Northern Trains. Three 90044 Avanti West Coast. This service is for Manchester Piccadilly from London Euston. And I can hear another plane. There it is. Three 90044 Avanti West Coast. Now departing from Stockport. Royal Scot. That's the nameplate of this train. Three 90044 Royal Scot. It's got a nice logo on the cab ends on the outside of the train also. On that Avanti West Coast, class 390. Another plane. I think that one is the EasyJet plane this time. That looks like EasyJet. I think it is, you know, EasyJet. Another aeroplane. Plenty of planes over Stockport this morning. 156409 Northern Trains. Another local service for Manchester Piccadilly. That is former East Midlands Railway also. 156409. Also known as former East Midlands Rihanna. Another aeroplane from Manchester Airport.
Wales service to Cardiff Central, calling at Wilmslow, Crewe, Shrewsbury.
Class 323 networker. Northern Trains 323229. Departing for Manchester Piccadilly 323229 networker.
Platform 2.
82226 Transport for Wales.
Please make your way over to platform number 1. Platform observation. Passengers travelling to London.
The coaching stock is former LNER and Before that, Virgin Trains East Coast.
4844, and comes around to a small service. Follow the Euston Colony Stockport train on each.
There's the other aeroplane flying above the train set now. Six 7008 has finally returned. Arrived here at Stockport. This service is for Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales. Networker 323236 Northern Trains. Service to Manchester Piccadilly. Class 323 Networker. 67008 with 82226 in the front. But there goes 67008 at the back end of this train service. Transport for Wales service heading for Cardiff. Cardiff is the capital of Wales. Departing from Stockport. Whoa! 66601. The Hope Valley Freightliner. And in the background is 220009 Cross Country Class 220 Voyager Cross Country trains departing Stockport. There's the Class 66 locomotive in the background from Freightliner. Through Stockport Station.
Sheffield, Chesterfield, Alfreton,
323227 Northern Trains Class 323 Networker arriving here at Stockport. This service is going to Stoke-on-Trent. 331011 in the background for Alderley Edge. 331011 for Alderley Edge. Northern Trains arriving.
Peterborough, Ely, Thetford and Norwich.
The Networker is departing in the background.
Terminate at Nottingham. Platform 0 for the 0854.
East Midlands Railway in the background. Service for Norwich. 158785. Also known as East Midlands Rihanna, and 158857. Arriving here at Stockport, Greater Manchester. 158785 and 857. Aeroplane, EasyJet once again. EasyJet plane. Transport for Wales, service for Manchester Piccadilly. This is a brand new train, this is a Class 197 DMU. 197042. Class 197 train that is, 197042. Going to Manchester Piccadilly. Northern Trains 15 150-138 going to Manchester Piccadilly. Behind that is 150226. 150138 and 226 going to Manchester Piccadilly. Local Northern train service departing from Stockport, Greater Manchester.
The 904, 9 Culture Man to Escort service for London Euston. This train's calling at World's World Crew, Stafford and
390011.
That's the standard route coaches and the this train is on 1 in the centre of the room.
City of Lichfield.
That's platform number 2 for the 904, not back to Escort service for London Euston. Platform 0 for the 905 Northern service to Buxton. This train's calling at Davenport, Woodsmore, Hazel Grove.
390011, City of Lichfield.
Once again, platform 0 for Buxton.
Arriving here at Stockport for London Euston. And there's a special Class 185 train this morning, TransPennine Express. I think it's 185111 in a special branding at the front of the train. Service to Liverpool Lime Street. This service is from Cleethorpes. (390011). But inbound towards me is 185111. TransPennine Express in the special branding for Liverpool Lime Street via Manchester and Warrington. 185110. That's the twin brothers connected together. 185111 and 110. That's the twin brothers connected together, the Class 185s. That service is from Cleethorpes, which would have went via Scunthorpe, Doncaster and via Sheffield. 185111 and 110 TPE, departing from Stockport. Thank you very much for watching this train video this morning here at Stockport. Today's date is the 12th of April this year. And this will be a very good train video indeed recently for this year. So there we are at Stockport, Greater Manchester for this morning. Thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to hit that like button. And remember to feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Happy days.